Oh, yes. It's been a little bit of time, but here you are back. SimTrax Broadcasting coming to you live. Patrick Morrison here in the booth. Of course, no other place to be here than the Coast2Coast Racing Network and the Coast2Coast Racing League, where we're taking a look at a few drivers out here on the track of none other than the fastest half mile in the world, Volusia Speedway. This is also a favorite stop in the world for the World of Outlaws and the Super Dirt Car Series, and we'll talk about them a little bit later. But first, let's go ahead and talk about our standings heading into this one. Taking a look at that 218 machine of Kurt Schatzer, who is actually in the points lead with 505 points, so he's feeling pretty comfortable sitting over top of Jeffrey Kemper, who is in second, and Terry Lance in third. But I will say, last time you guys saw us was week 7, so it's been a little bit. They did have a Jim Brown Memorial race there, race against childhood cancer charity race last week. So let's rotate actually back to week 7. Isaac Salas, Randy Treves, and Zach Chapman were 1, 2, and 3. Fourth place was none other than Kurt Schatzer there in the 218. So that'll wrap it up for our A&J Custom standings here. A&J Custom Creations is the proud supplier of the Monday Night Madness Outlaw Sprint Division trophies for the winter season. All right. Hopefully these guys will be under qualifying here momentarily. Let's go ahead and talk about our driver of the week, brought to you by the Pitside Podcast. You can join Roger and Preston on Sundays as they bring you all the happenings inside and outside the Coast2Coast Racing League. Week 7 was Kurt Schatzer. We saw him, but it was not for his Pro Late Model division. He actually was racing in that week's Matinee Division 360s. He drove all the way to P2, starting from P18. So he passed 16 cars, and also tip of the hat to Jeffrey Kemper, who started 21st, passing 16 cars in the Hometown Heroes. Asphalt was Michael Berthet. I think that was in the pickup division. He ended up there for week 7. He started 24th and came all the way to P6, passing 18 cars. So not too shabby, all these guys. Driver of the week is going to be a good shout-out. So let's go ahead and take a look at our qualifying session. Locking and loading. Here we go. Let's see where they end up in this Flatline Racing Bodies qualifying session. Flatline Racing Bodies is qualifying racing bodies produced by former NASCAR Regional Short Track Champion Dan Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. Let's see some of those fast times out there, boys. Let's see what we got here at Volusia. They got to be pretty tired of this this track out here. I know with what they ended up with last week, they're going to be dealing with a little bit of that this week. So we'll see if see what all they can put down here tonight and see what they've got for us. Man, oh man, oh man, Brandon Templeton already sitting on the pole here so far. Kurt Schatzer sitting second, and Joseph Grandy is third. Jeffrey Kemper looking to see if anybody else is out there on the track. I think Joseph Grandy might still be out there. Nope, he just checked out. Andy Piercefield is out there tonight. Good to see him out here. And that 75 machine looking sharp. Jeff Sharp, Connor Ross, there's somebody. Hoping somebody was out here moving around. Connor Ross looking like he's just about to complete his second lap here. Oof, shot to the wall. Right now sitting fourth, and to the backup car he's going to go. Hard to race on your lid there, bud. All right, let's see who else we got. Nathan Aldrich in the 514. Good to see him out here. And actually, Dan McLaren out here in the 88. He's actually going to be out there qualifying as well. We'll see if he can nail any solid times out here in the Pro Lates. Nathan Aldrich already with 12th place. Here's Dan McLaren in the 88. A lot harder into the turns. Interesting enough, when we're kind of watching Volusia, they high and a low line, and they kind of had to start melding to the middle line a little bit differently. I think a lot of guys were caught off guard with that, but fortunately, these guys definitely are able to make the transfer. Right now, not showing any solid times out of Dan McLaren right now. I don't know if he had any trouble out there on the track. Alrighty. Yep, that's going to do it. Qualifying time is over. Qualifying time is over. Of course, that is going to bring us our first heat here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I am so excited you guys are here. for this one. Heat 1, of course, brought to you by Langton Mechanical. You heard me talk about them before. They are a second to none heat and air conditioning company in the Hamilton area and promise their customers that their own professionally trained Langton specialists will be there personally every step of the way. They guarantee their customer satisfaction from start to finish, including sales, installation, and maintenance service of their heating or cooling systems. Every equipment sale, installation, and maintenance service call that they make is backed 100% by Langton Mechanical. Let's take a look at our starting grid here. Randy Shreves and Jeff Sharp, 1 and 2. Jeffrey Kemper starting the second row here, 3 with Joseph Grandy on the outside. Riley Burr sitting 5th with Terry Landis. High line for him starting tonight in the 161, starting 6th. And Dan McLaren starting in the back of the field here for Heat 1. This is going to be a little weird. Good to see Mr. Consistency up there in the front, so let's see how well he can do starting off this one here. Be good to get a first heat win and go ahead and make it to the end. Randy Shreves would like to go ahead and get this heat out of the way, get straight on to the finale. I know that's for sure. Do want to mention, give a shout out there for Cool Ray for picking up the sponsor here for the Pro Late Model Series. Randy Shreves is feeling pretty good about tonight. Volusia's kind of been a little tricky. I will say, this track originally, back in 1968, went under a few changes. This was originally a quarter-mile track. Then expanded to 3/8 of a mile in 1969. And then 3 years later, grew again a half a mile in 1989. Well, then it was paved in 1989, then hosted the Xfinity Series, and then converted back to dirt in 97. So talk about switch up about 1,000 times here. Let's go ahead and get it done. Randy Shreves here in the front. Jeff Sharp will be starting on the outside in the 28 machine. Definitely having to throw these cars in there hard, especially on that inside line. Hopefully Randy Shreves is going to slide up here toward the top, and he does. Toward the top here, Randy Shreves gives a good block there to Jeff Sharp, but now it looks like Kemper's down the bottom. Kemper with the Gambler Motorsports team sliding toward the inside, but it looks like Joseph Grandy might be thinking the same thing. 518 trying to hold it close here, but it looks like Jeffrey Kemper has the upper hand for the second position. Randy Shreves still trying to see if he can get away, just barely. Jeffrey Kemper had a fender on him, but no can do. Turn exit for Randy Shreves is definitely capitalizing here. Now he's getting pulled away, but now Grandy, a lot of speed into turn 3 here as he slides on the inside. But outside line just seems to be where you need to be. Kemper's got to figure out a new line here as Grandy is taking away the bottom. Now toward the top, riding that cushion, slider in front. Grandy cuts him off, and now back for another angle. Randy Shreves taking a look out of that driver's window as the big blue and yellow 518 to Joseph Grandy's got him. Grandy looking to make it a total of 3 positions moved up in this race and see if he can get a Heat 1 win. That way he does not have to end up farther back during the feature. Joseph Grandy, fast turn 1 and 2, and that'll give him a better 3 and 4 here as he now takes the lead. Fastest track on the time for Joseph Grandy with a 16:05, but not as fast as Jeff Sharp with a 16:04. White flag is out, contact made. Looks like Randy Shreves getting all out of sorts here. Now slid back to 3rd. And that is going to do it. Grandy, Kemper, Shreves 1, 2, and 3. Jeff Sharp falls down 2 positions, ended up 4th, and McLaren off the bottom in the 5th. Terry Landis stayed 6th, ended up 6th, and Riley Burr ended up in the final position. All right. Did you guys miss me? I missed you guys. All right, let's go ahead and bring it to Heat 2. Let's go ahead and get this one done. Heat 2 brought to you by Venom Racing Team. They are the coast-to-coast guys you've seen out here from all ages and all parts of the U.S. You'll recognize some familiar names like Isaac Salas, Brian Lawson, Kevin Davis, Mark Gilbert, Malachi Smith, Charlie Weaver, and Gary Singlecow, just to name a few. Venom Racing is a proud sponsor of the Coast-to-Coast Racing League's 358 Modified Division. Let's take a look at this starting lineup here. Brandon Dittmer and Andy Piercefield here, front row. That's going to be a tight squeeze here. I'm good to see. Andy Piercefield's been out of it for a little while, but see if he can pour on the coal here tonight. Patrick Spangler, Triple Crown winner in the 39, will be starting 3rd with Connor Ross. We saw him on his lid. He'll be starting 4th here. Look like Nathan Aldrich in the 514 starting 5th, and on the outside of row 3 will be Jeff Barker. So 514, 513 next to each other, and rounding out the rest of the field will be Steven Bixler in the 75 machine. Should be a good stack up here tonight for all these guys out here on the track. Take a little look at what our weather's looking like out there. 69 degrees out there on the track, 82 in the air. Beautiful day here to be racing here in De Leon Springs, Florida. Some of these guys have been here almost all week last week, definitely going for that Memorial race. So this is no surprise to these guys. I will say none of them raced pro lates there. That was not in the cards. Big blocks, 358s, 360s, and 305s. All right, let's get her going here. Pace truck is off. And Brandon Dittmer, watch him in the 83 on the inside here. He gets an easy takeoff. Spangler, I know Spangler is not afraid to make some contact here. Spangler is going to make his way up. No one has moved yet so far. No loss, no gain. There we go. Now we got some guys shuffling around. Patrick Spangler up to second. Andy Piercefield has fallen down to third, and we continue this race. Now these guys go down the back chute. Looks like Brandon Dittmer is going to be the one to beat here, but as the track settles in, some of these guys are going to start pressing. Nathan Aldrich in the 514 looks like he's under fire there a little bit as he took that spot away from Connor Ross. Connor Ross now down toward the inside, can't get it. Andy Piercefield staying high. Piercefield in the 175 here, not getting any misuse here. Looks like Nathan Aldrich is going to try to put a little pressure on him as he goes through 3 and 4, but he's able to get a better 1 and 2. Patrick Spangler still trying to chase down Brandon Dittmer, but Dittmer with a faster time of a 15:97. Already halfway through this heat here, Barney's getting that white flag out as that is what we'll have next time around. Battle underway here. Looks like a little trouble here from Nathan Aldrich. Nathan Aldrich into the wall. He is falling all the way down, back down to 7th. Connor Ross now sitting 4th. He regained his position. And Steven Bixler from the back to 5th. Excellent job. But Dittmer still leading this one. White flag. Led lap 1. Leading all the laps here so far. And right now he's going to try to duplicate that in the feature because right now he is taking home Heat 2 win here at Volusia Speedway. Man, oh man, oh man. That is easy peasy for him. Easy peasy. That was no problem out of any of these drivers out here. That's going to bring us to our warm-up. All right. See if we can hang out here. Talk a little bit about our warm-up sponsor. You see it down there at the bottom, the Ohsweken Speedway. Catch all the Ohsweken Speedway action every Friday night, free on GeForce TV. Featuring live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, all free. GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action across all of Ontario. Some of these guys looking to try it out in a little bit different way than what they had before. Definitely some ugly starts, some ugly finishes for some of the drivers out here. I know Kurt Schatzer was looking to try to do a little bit better there in that heat. I mean, Nathan Aldrich as well. He kind of had a dismal starting to go there, but he'll have his chance to try again. Some of your times out here right now, Joseph Grandy just in the warm-up here looking pretty good with 1584. Boy, I wish Grandy, I bet he wish he had put some of that time down. Good Lord. All right. I want to mention out there, you guys, while we got a little bit of time here, if you join the Coast2Coast Racing League, they actually have a driving school here. You can check out the C2C Racing School where their league's top drivers have volunteered to help, the league drivers improve their driving skills free of charge. They'll be offering various skill sets such as qualifying driving lines, driver awareness, and setup advice. You can go to c2crl.com and schedule a session. What I do notice that they don't offer is they don't teach you how to win. They teach you how to qualify, the driving lines, the driver awareness, and setup advice, but they don't tell you how to win. I got you to make sure one of those league leaders can get you locked up with that. He's not going to give you all the secrets, but he'll definitely give you enough to get you going. Alrighty, about another 30 seconds left here in the warm-up. That'll do it here send us to the feature in the Pro Late models. Pretty excited about that. guys who are not participating in the warm-up, Kemper, Aldrich, and Barker. Some of these guys already on their backup car, not willing to risk it again. Oh yeah, that's going to do it for the warm-up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, some of these drivers out there got to warm up a little bit, get their elbows back out and get ready to race on this one, especially our front row. Let's talk about our starting lineup here, brought to you by the Super Dirt Car Series, the Northeast Premier Series showcasing the Big Block Modified's premier drivers from Florida to Canada. The Super Dirt Car Series visits some of the most exciting dirt track in front of the biggest crowds. The ground-pounding, earth-shattering, window-rattling beast of the Northeast is the Super Dirt Car Series. Brandon Templeton and Kurt Schatz are starting in the front row, with Joseph Grandy and Brandon Dittmer starting in row 2. Row 3 will bring you Jeffrey Kemper and Patrick Spangler. Definitely good to see the 181 and the 39 sitting about that third row. They're within striking distance. Mr. Consistency, Randy Shreve, sitting in the 56, starting 7th, with Andy Piercefield in the 175 sitting 8th. Starting in row 5 here will be Jeff Sharp, Connor Ross. Definitely interesting to see these guys. Got a lot of moving to do. They got to move up pretty fast here because these laps definitely chip away here pretty quick. Dan McLaren starting 11th with Steven Bixler into 12th. Rounding out the final spots in our field, Terry Landis will be 13th, Jeff Barker into 14th, Riley Burr 15th, and Nathan Aldrich starting in that 16th position. Definitely tough to get going from back there. I wouldn't want to be there, but some of these guys, if there's going to be a spot, you're going to be in it. Let's go ahead and get it on underway as we head around one more time behind the pace truck. Pace truck obviously sponsored by the Steve King Foundation. If you guys don't know about them, you can check them out. The Steve King Foundation also offers tribute giving, dedicated gift through gift, honor a loved one, recognize someone special, or celebrate a milestone by donating their name while supporting the dirt racing community through times of need, and they will notify the honoree of your generous gift. Points leader Kurt Schatzer. Front row on the outside. You better watch out for Brandon Templeton. Templeton's going to have this thing on a rail here tonight as we get underway for 30 laps here at Volusia Speedway. Oh, mother. Somebody hit that wall hard. That looks like Connor Ross. The Gambler Motorsports team just got mauled. No caution. Quick contact there. Now Ross is going to be out of the running here. Holy cow. Started 10th down to 16th. All right, let's continue on here. Kurt Schatzer now has the lead. Outside line is the preferred lane. Brandon Templeton wishes he had slid up in front of him here, but he's not going to get it. Joseph Grandy trying to keep in tight. Grandy only off by about a quarter of a second here. Very, very close. Looks like Kurt Schatzer starting to run away with it. Getting the separation he needs. I guarantee he's won green flag laps here. Grandy now in the second, and Brandon Templeton back to third. Let's rotate back here in the Patrick Spangler area. Spangler battling alongside Randy Shreves here. But no can do as these two guys separate. So smash and banging. Definitely trying to make some room here. You see Jeffrey Kemper diving onto the inside of Brandon Dittmer. But no can do. The 181 have to calm down a little bit and kind of let a few of these laps chip away. The track gets more and more slick here. Some guys will pick up speed, some will lose them. Patrick Spangler getting super close there, and Joseph Grandy rotating back to the front. Saw there between 3 and 4 diving there toward the bottom. Actually, it worked out a lot better. He was actually able to get away from Templeton by about a tenth of a second and pick up the same amount there on Kurt Schatzer. Watch out for Joseph Grandy, seeing if he can find another lane there between 3 and 4. Nothing doing just yet. Biggest movers of the race are Riley Burr and Nathan Aldrich, who've moved up 4 positions here so far, but they got a good chunk of cars in front of them. Started with Andy Piercefield in front of Brandon Dittmer and Terry Landis. And we saw Dittmer was up front there a little bit, but it looks like Dittmer got in a little bit of trouble and has rotated his way on back. Now he's fighting up here for 8. Outside of Andy Piercefield here. Getting into the cushion to see if he can plant and push. And he does. Gets away from him here. So now Jeffrey Kemper's fallen down to 6th. Inside lane is not where he wants to be. Randy Shreves, this is now starting to play into him. Randy Shreves has gotten into the top 5 here. Patrick Spangler up 2, and really the battle continues. But separated from the rest of the field over, just about 2 seconds between Randy Shreves and being able to reach 3rd place. They may have to hope for a caution on that, but only a third of the way through this race may or may not happen. Patrick Spangler sitting here in 4th. Schatzer, Grandy, Templeton, 1, 2, and 3. Good racing here all around. Looks like everybody's starting to give each other room. But Terry Landis right up Andy Piercefield's rear bumper there. Getting ready to kind of nudge him, but not just quite. Not quite yet. Definitely making the moves. Look like Jeff Barker's trying to take the inside here. Trying to jam Dan McLaren, keep him on the high side. Jeff Barker staying pretty confident here on the bottom. Kemper's moved up, Barker's moved up 1 position so far. Definitely Nathan Aldridge looking to kind of undo what happened there during the heat. He's now up 4 positions. Back and forth these guys go. Best time out there on the track, about a 15:97. Set by Joseph Grandy. Grandy off by over a quarter of a second here. Boy, just saw Brandon take a lick out of that inside wall. That's going to cost him big time on that one. He lost about a quarter of a second just from that nudge. Just goes to show you the level of experience here. Just being able to hit that right line. You see Dittmer take a better angle here toward the top. Decides better not to take the inside line, but he's going to go for it again. Time here, as we said, there was about a 2-second gap. Patrick Spangler's been able to saw it away. It's about a 1.7 here, give or take. Joseph Grandy looks like he might be trying a little bit of pressure here to the backside of Kurt Schatzer. As the track slickens up a little bit, now the battle's going to start heating up here. Brandon Templeton toward the inside of Grandy. Not yet. I know he's looking. Grandy's got to have a mirror full of him at this point, and it's looking pretty rough. Let's take a look at the top side here. Joseph Grandy now gathers the lead. Kurt Schatzer going to get the rollout. Holds it there so far. Schatzer staying toward the top. Interesting enough to see the low line start coming in now because Joseph Grandy's using it. Grandy now starting to pick up a little pace. Oh, no, not just yet. Looks like a little fumble right there, and now that's going to allow Schatzer to get away. But Grandy trying one more time here on the inside to see if he can find any room here out there on the track. Grandy gets a nose on him and then loses it. Grandy one more time here on the inside, and he may have cleared him. Schatzer starting to pour on the coal here as they run into lap traffic. Connor Ross will be the first one up, and he's going to have to figure out where he's going to end up. Grandy may try to hold it side by side here for a few laps, see if he can get Schatzer jammed in the back of lap traffic, and he's going to pull away. About 8 laps left to go here at Volusia Speedway. Kurt Schatzer trying to see if he can regain the lead back from Joseph Grandy. Grandy holding the bottom lane here. Schatzer still got top. Right now, Brandon Templeton kind of waiting like a lion in the savannah here, waiting to attack. Where is he going to go? 31 looking toward the inside. No can do. Still jammed up by Grandy. You almost feel like Templeton's got the power here, but he's got no room. Templeton to the inside of Grandy now. Right now, seeing if he can go for a 2-for-1, but Templeton running out of time. 6 laps left to go. The cars come down the back chute. Grandy wants to rotate up bad. Connor Ross, good job moving toward the inside, trying to let these guys go as it's almost 3 wide coming through 3 and 4. Grandy almost getting the separation, but no. Kurt Schatzer holding him off here. Now we got some trouble. Dittmer on the inside in the 83. Holy cow, Andy Piercefield will be next. Andy Piercefield up toward the top side. Kurt Schatzer may have to change his line here. Schatzer making it close. Schatzer rotating around about mid corner. Good job. It's good, he should be good. Grandy's moved up 2 positions for the lead. Contact. Kurt Schatzer, and it looks like Andy Piercefield made contact, and that'll be it for Schatzer. Yellow flag is out. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Looks like the points leader got into the back of Andy Piercefield here. Trying to regain the lead, but just had no room. Here's the shot off the backstretch here. Andy Piercefield caught the back wall. No. Whoa. Taking a look at it here. Let's see if we can see Kurt Schatzer's angle. Let's kind of take a ride along with him here, half speed. Right there. Oh, man. Absolutely nothing he could have done. Absolutely nothing he could have done. Man, I would not want to be on the radio with Kurt Schatzer there. I know it was an honest mistake there by Andy Piercefield, kind of clipping that wall there, but there's absolutely nothing can be done. Whoa. Talk about shuffling it up. Fortunately, Kurt Schatzer does have a comfortable lead over top of Jeffrey Kemper, who's sitting in second. Quick math showing this about 70 points ahead of Jeffrey Kemper. So right now it looks like Kurt Schatzer may or may not be dead last year. He may be 15th. I think 175 machine of Piercefield may actually may be in the garage. Whoa. Wow. That was something. That was something. All right, Steve King Foundation pace trucks off. Grandy and Templeton. This is it. This is Templeton's time to strike. Away we go here. Some of these drivers are going to be trying it. Brandon Templeton throwing it in there as hard as he can. Patrick Spengler sitting third. Biggest mover of the race, Riley Burr, is up 8 positions, now up 9. Burr is down now to 11th. Something happened back there. We're back under caution. I was going to say, we're about to shuffle back there because it looks like Jeffrey Barker, Terry Landis, and Riley Burr might have been into something. Before I get the cameraman to look back there, we already had a little bit of a tangle up. Let's take a look at Jeff Barker here. Oh. Like contact up there. Looks like he runs in the back of Nathan Aldrich here. Another angle. Looks like Terry Landis makes contact right there. I wouldn't say it's Terry Landis' fault here. That's all I'm saying. Terry Landis. Yeah, boom. Right there. Oh. Up on his lid. All right. So a couple of drivers going to be knocked out of that one. Riley Burr is down pit. I'll give a shout out there. I think Kurt Schatzer was able to get back out here. Yes, he is. Kurt Schatzer sitting 10th. Definitely trying to save some points there. This may be a runaway here for Kurt Schatzer, especially on the points run. Right now will be 8 races. He's won 2. The only person with a better record is Aiden Young. Race 2, won 2. As the only other person as well with multiple wins. Grandy looking to see if he can reach out there and get himself one. I'll say Joseph Grandy started in all 7, but has yet to get a win here, so he's got to make it happen now. Couple laps away. Here we go. Grandy holding this extreme low line here, and it's working out. See if we can rotate top side. He's got the breakaway here from Brandon Templeton. Sitting up top in the Michelin chopper view, you definitely see how Grandy's got that pull away. He's working the wheel. White flag next time by. Here comes Grandy. Man, oh man, oh man, what is he going to do? As they come down the back chute here, look at Grandy slinging this car in there. trying to get everything he can. Randy Shreves trying to see if he can get a podium position for third. White flag, now Randy Shreves to the bottom. Looks like Randy may be able to squeeze this one away. Patrick Spangler working the top side. Randy Shreves has got one more turn. Can he get it? Oh, no. Not enough turn exit here. Randy Shreves will be fourth. Bringing Joseph Grandy, Brandon Templeton, and Patrick Spangler 1, 2, and 3. Awesome job, all our drivers out there. Awesome. Let's go ahead and take a look at our race results here tonight. Andy Piercefield had a couple fumbles there. That brings us to Riley Burr. Brandon Dittmer ended up in the back. And Connor Ross ended up a lap down. Everybody else still lead lap. I give it to Brandon Templeton. He was trying. I thought he was going to get real close there. But not quite enough. Not quite enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. And let me go ahead and see if we can reel some of these guys in. And let's have a talk with them. We are back, everybody. I've run down our third place finisher, Patrick Spangler, Triple Crown winner. Man, tell me, how was the track out there tonight at Volusia?
It's good. I didn't run late models too much. I was just trying to keep it clean and see what I can do and brought home a podium, so can't complain about that.
Yeah, definitely a wild run out here. A couple of drivers out there were trying to make some moves. I know Jeffrey Kemper was trying, and Randy Shreves right there at the end. Any doubt, losing a podium position here tonight?
Yeah, I thought the top was going to come back in because I thought I gained a little bit on the leaders, but then they were trying to pull away. So I knew Randy's run the bottom, but I just can't run the bottom of these. So I was just hoping I could hold on to it on the top.
Yeah, big time tough out here, man. I just don't know. Sometimes with these pro lates, really what happens next? The line goes, the line comes back, and especially at Volusia, it's going to be big time trouble. Looking at next week, I believe we head in the pro late models to Kokomo. How are you feeling about that track?
I don't know if I've even ran late miles there. If it's around the wall, it might be good, but if it's down low, might be struggling. So we'll see how next week goes.
All right, Triple Crown winner Patrick Spangler, give me a shout out, sir.
Shout out to Training Wheels Racing, you guys for putting on the broadcast. Roger run the league. Grandy came over and joined the team this week. Just our graphics designer was on strike, so just on playing 518. But just good all-around night for Training Wheels Racing.
All righty, Patrick Spangler, appreciate you coming out tonight.
Thanks. Hope to talk to you next week.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be our third place finisher, bringing us Brandon Templeton. I've been talking to Brandon Templeton a lot lately here. Interesting enough to see, but let's go ahead and pull him back in. Brandon Templeton. Man, I was telling our viewers out here, I think I've talked to you a bunch here lately. You seem to kind of get a hot streak going on here.
Yeah, it's hot and cold, I guess, this season. It seems like checkered or record. I've been driving, a little aggressive, but that'll come with it. Chasing wins and not really in a championship this season, so just trying to get everything I can out of it.
Well, still a good battle here. You are sitting 8th with at least one win this season. You've missed one race so far, but not too bad, man. A lot of guys have missed more races and farther back, and a lot of guys who have participated more are just barely ahead of you. With a second-place finish tonight, what was the hardest part you found about Volusia?
Just keeping it down on the bottom when it got slick. It wasn't easy keeping it down there without actually scraping the wall, like I did in the midget earlier tonight. And, just keeping it on that groove where the traction was. It wasn't very thick, and so that was probably the main obstacle.
All right, definitely. Some drivers had some problems there on the bottom. I saw Brandon Dittmer in the 83 clip the inside wall, ended up putting him 14th. So definitely big problems out of there. Kokomo is next week in the Pro Lates. How confident are you feeling heading into that track?
I kind of like Kokomo. I've had some success there, inside and outside. Sometimes the racing line changes up there, so provides some good racing, and it'll be tight and exciting for sure.
All righty. Well, it's going to definitely be a mix-up weed sport where you'll be in the non-wing 360s, Kokomo, and then trucks. Good Lord, we'll be at Daytona for that one. So, all right, Brandon Templeton, great job coming in second place. Unfortunately, you weren't able to come in with the win, but a lot of tough drivers out there. Go and give me a shout-outs.
First of all, thanks to Kurt and Hammer Down Racing Team. It sucks what happened to him in the race, just unfortunate. But that was a hell of a race we had going, probably race of the year. Thanks to Joe and Got Your Six Racing Network. Thanks to you, Patrick, for broadcasting and putting this all on. Thanks to the league for everything they do. Dirt Track Bank, Got Your Six Racing Network, Extreme Images, Big C's Lawn Care, Maley's Bakery, and everyone watching at home. Thanks.
All right, appreciate it, Brandon. All right, everybody, that's Brandon Templeton there getting it done here. You're feeling pretty confident there so far. I'm not sure really what he could have done differently. I will say he was right. I completely agree with him. That those few laps there before Kurt Schatzer got wiped out were probably some of the best racing I've seen just about every single part of this pro late model division. But right here, we're caught up with Joseph Grandy in the 518. Joseph Grandy, talk to me here. What was the key to winning here? Was it the high line, the low line, or just being consistent? Oh, no. Come on, Joseph. You're muted, bud. Come on.
Sorry about that. Obviously, being consistent obviously helps. But that low line came in, and I just tried to stick it as best as I could, and we were having a hell of a race. And something unfortunate happened, but some of the most fun I had here in a while in a race.
Yeah, I got to admit, dude, I was super excited. You guys almost getting 3 wide there. I mean, it didn't look... there was some gain. You were able to get the lead, and then it looked like Kurt Schatzer started coming back. He started picking up a lot of pace. Were you nervous?
No, not really. If he passed me, I would have been more than happy with a second. It was just so fun. I didn't care either way.
All right. Well, that is going to be definitely one to put in the books, man. Definitely want to make sure you got a thumbs up or hold on to that one because you definitely earned it here tonight. You started third. You come away with the win. Boy, what a wild race this is. Let's talk a little bit about next week. In the Pro Lates, you guys head to Kokomo. How what's the feeling heading into that track?
Not good. not a fan of Kokomo. Not really good at it. I honestly don't race enough. Maybe once a month when the league goes there, and that's about it.
All right, Joseph, you are sitting right about 6th place. This should slide you up pretty well due to Kurt Schatzer's unfortunate event here tonight. I know he does have a substantial lead, but as time dwindles down here in this league, man, it's definitely harder and harder to climb that ladder, but a win definitely gets it done. Give me your shout-outs.
Yeah, I haven't been in here as much as I'd like to be. But I'd like to thank West End Tone Repair, Catalytic Recovery, Velocity Race Designs, all the guys over at Training Wheels Racing. I'd like to thank you for doing the broadcast, Coast to Coast, and everyone behind the scenes that make this machine run every day.
All righty. I appreciate it, Joseph. I do have to ask you one question before you go. Catalytic Recovery. Is that what I think it is, or can you tell me?
I buy catalytic converters.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was just like, oh man, people jacking cats, and they'll guarantee they'll get them back to you. All right, Joseph, in the 518, great job tonight.
Yep, have a good one.
All right, everybody, Joseph Grandy, that's going to do it for us in the Dirt Series. But have no fear, everything's going to be well and done because, of course, it's Topside Tuesday. Where are we going to be? Let's head to the asphalt, none other than Phoenix. So let's make that green cactus light up tonight, and let's get this underway. But first, I gotta have to send you guys to commercial, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Olivia Olson. I am an industrial engineering senior and club volleyball member here at Penn State.
And I'm Alex Ryan, a computer science senior and another club volleyball member, and we're excited to announce that we're planning to dance in Thon 2023.
Thon is a 46-hour, no sitting, no sleeping dance marathon aimed towards raising funds to support those affected by childhood cancer. It is the largest student-run philanthropy in the entire world. We'll be dancing in honor of one of our best friends, Jesse King. Jesse is also a part of club volleyball, but a lot of us would consider him family. Immediately, freshman year, Alex and I clicked with Jesse and all the other new members of club volleyball. We went to the dining hall together for a lot of our meals, spent weekends together, and ended up going on vacations together. It really does feel like family to us.
Going into junior year, Jesse was supposed to live with myself and a few of our other friends, but he was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in March of 2021. He's been through chemotherapy, it's been a year since he's finished radiation, and we can officially say that he has no active cancer. Currently, he is undergoing physical and cognitive therapies.
Thanks to Thon and Four Diamonds, the King family and many other families have yet to see a bill related to medical expenses, hotels, parking, gas fees, and all other related travel expenses. It just goes to show that every dollar raised truly does go a distance. It allows families to focus on the recovery of their child as opposed to financial stress.
Because of this, we've got to spend a lot more time with Jesse and his family, who are the nicest people in the world. They throw awesome tailgates, and every time we see them, a little bit more of the Jesse that we know and love peeks through.
Until then, we are fully committed to the mission of Thon and Four Diamonds by raising funds to support the Kings and all the other families affected by childhood cancer.
With Thon less than 100 days away, we're asking that you consider donating. Regardless of the amount, it will make an immense impact. To donate to our donor drive, please scan the QR code or click the included link.
If donating isn't in your cards today, please share this video with those around you. Help us get our fundraising past the finish line.
This is a race that families can't afford to lose.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
At Coolray Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical, we've proudly been the leader in serving the Southeast since 1966. And nobody is more committed to delivering industry-leading excellence to the Nashville community than we are. We're number one because we've got the best and brightest HVAC technicians, plumbers, and electricians. And you can count on us 24/7, 7 days a week. Go to coolray.com to learn more.
Welcome back, everybody. Phoenix. That's where we're going to be at here tonight. Take a look at it. This track, keep in mind, this track actually hosted the first NASCAR Truck Series event back in 1995, and the person we're looking at right now is that 27 Toyota of Sean Grace. Why does that make a difference? Sean Grace actually last week, well, back in week 7, was the winner of the race for the Truck Series. Brandon Dittmer was second, and Brad Wetzel was third. Brad Wetzel actually sitting second out there during practice for these guys to get underway here. In just a moment, a couple of other drivers out there as we're waiting for a few more to get logged in here. I'm super excited to have you guys here for the Asphalt Series. A few other guys out there, you know, are kind of testing a few extra pieces out there on the trucks. Definitely getting an idea for how it should feel. This track is a kind of a weird one, and why I say that is the way the pit road is set up. Some of these guys can actually cut that inside line if they don't take the inside and actually pick up almost 6 seconds in pit road. So keep in mind, watch out for that. That is going to be a huge turnaround for a lot of these drivers out here. They're going to be trying a few of those angles. So we'll keep that in mind and watch out and see if any of them do anything like that. But this open dogleg is what you'll see some of these guys coming around the turn. Should be between 3 and 4. Will actually drop off the track and try to slice it right there. Boom. Couple of drivers made contact, but that's exactly the spot I was talking about, is them slicing through that piece. Now, NASCAR has said they don't pick up any time doing that, but every race I've seen here at Phoenix, you do. These guys can pick up almost 1/10 of a second per lap doing that, and that is a huge advantage, and it doesn't hurt you at all during qualifying, during the race, during practice. It's not a bad stipulation to make that slice across the field there and be able to pick up some more time. And to me, I would do it too, being able to hook the inside of that turn and squeeze away there. So we'll see if our points leader, Chris Schaefer, can get anything done here in the 23 Chevrolet and see what all he's got, locked and loaded for us here. Because he is going to be big time under fire here by a few of these drivers out here. He's looking to retain the lead and stay out in front, but it is not going to be easy. Not even a little bit here, because a lot of these drivers are going to be watching what he does and how he's been practicing so far. Let's take a look, see if Chris Schaefer's got anything for us here. Put on a little more speed. There you go. That's him cutting the dog leg. Man, is he close. Definitely awesome time there. 27:48. Huge time. Turn 1 Racing fellow driver Matthew Robinson will be sitting third, but Sean Grace held the time there in practice, and he's got it now. So let's see if Sean Grace has anything for us. Right now, last lap was better, but his turn 3 and 4 was just insane. 13:74. Let's see if he can pick up any more time or if he's going to stretch this lead out. Oh, nope, right there. Hit the wall right before the cactus, so that's going to do it for him. Matthew Robinson looks like he's ticking down in the 15 Ford. Coming down, slowing down, bringing it on into pit. Brad Wetzel. Look like he's finishing his second lap here. That 43 Winston, and if I'm not mistaken, that should be by Doyle Lowrance. Should have hooked him up with a sweet paint scheme there. And look at that. Sean Grace has been unseated. Brad Wetzel takes the top. 27:09. Let's see if Roland Olson's out there. There he is in the 48 machine. Right now sitting 9th. See if he can squeak just a little more time here. And no, not enough. Dustin Sargent. Looks like the Sargent guys are out here. Well, let's see. Will Sargent and Dustin Sargent. Good to see them back out here. A couple of drivers who have yet to start qualifying. Mike Cranmer, Dan McLaren, Nick Schell. Guys not out here just yet. I believe Nicholas Schell should be part of Turn 1 Racing tonight. See if Mike Kramer or Dan McLaren's gotten out onto the track. There he is. There's Dan McLaren. Now, you want to talk about somebody who was fast. Last year, Dan McLaren was the man to beat. Him and Aiden Young. So watch out for these two. So, Dan McLaren and his Toyota. Let's see how well he can do. I've talked to Dan McLaren a bunch of times out there. As he has a little trouble making it to the track sometimes because of work. We understand that. Coast to Coast appreciates him coming out here whenever he can because he definitely puts on a fantastic show. Right now, that 88 Toyota is 8th. Triple 8s for Dan McLaren, the Canadian. Let's see if he got any more for us here. A little slower 1 and 2. And that may have done it for him here. So 8th place for Dan McLaren. Right now, I think everybody else has kind of went ahead and turned it in and said that's enough for them. Not enough speed or not enough time to get any more done. And boop. Alrighty. Gonna be getting to a few extra things here. So these guys get kind of squared away here momentarily, and we'll be right onto the track. I do want to kind of give a shout out there for that charity event. They actually raised $1,900 for childhood cancer. The Coast to Coast Racing League did. So really hats off to Roger Craig and the admin team and all the sponsors out there donating for childhood cancer and that and the event that they ran last week. So really glad to see them able to pull away. We'll take a look at Roger Craig's vehicle here a little bit later on tonight. But first, let's get straight on to the Dan Chapman Pickup Cup starting grid. Let's take a look at it. Brad Wetzel and Sean Grace here in the front. Not surprised at all with the amount of speed they did out there earlier. Connor Ross and Matthew Robinson sitting 3 and 4. Awesome job by them. Let's quick and see where they are out here. There they are. Will Sargent sitting 5th. Luis Meglin will be 6th. Zach Neubauer 7th with Dan McLaren in 8th. Starting on the inside of the 5th row will be Chris Schaefer, our points leader in the 23. And Andrew Smith to his outside in the 79. Starting row 6 will be Roland Olson and Butch Baker. Let's rotate to the second half of the field. Dustin Sargent will be sitting 13th with Greg Parmalee 14th. Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Hopefully he's get a little better rotation here than he did in the dirt, sitting 15th. Jack Clevenger will be 16th. Gary Afoot sitting 17th. Roger Craig in the 18 machine. In the 18th, sitting in the 747 machine, Gary Singelkow, 25th. Well, to 19th in the 25 machine. I believe Brandon Ishkanyon should be our RC tonight, bringing us with Nick Schell 21st and Mike Kramer into the 22nd position. Some of these guys, especially Nick Schell or Mike Kramer, did not qualify. So they are going to be starting in the back of the field here. And we'll watch the rest of these drivers get on by here. Roger Craig in the 747. I know no numbers are on the side of that car, but if I'm not mistaken, that actually should be the pace truck that they had that night. Roger Craig in the pace truck out there. Pace car is going to go around here one more time, and then we will be locked and loaded for this feature here tonight. That's a good looking truck. I'm always a sucker for a dark black truck. All right. Get to our guys here in the front. Green flag is out. Sean Grace, Brad Wetzel. And now the mix-up's going to happen. Hopefully, if you guys remember anything about last run, no cautions. So we're hoping to kind of resume and continue the same run here tonight. Let's get it going. Matthew Robinson's moved up 2 positions. 35's around. Connor Ross, here he goes. Yeah, definitely did not let those tires warm up. Points leader hit him. Brandon Dittmer's hit him. Looks like everybody else may have avoided this one. Man. Definitely hoping we weren't going to end up in a tumble here tonight. You can already see the 35 machine of Connor Ross has bent it pretty bad here. I'm sure Chris Schaefer's in a bit world of trouble as well. Hopefully Chris Schaefer has maintained. Let's go ahead and get right to the... Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a look at it here in the 35 machine. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to Connor Ross here. Looks like he's on the inside of Brad Wetzel. Oh, he's starting to rotate. Yeah, and that kind of just undid. That's... Pfft. Yeah, I think Will Sargent tags him right here. Pushing the rest of the way around. You see Dan McLaren up into the wall. Trying to make sure he can buy some room. If somebody's around on the inside, you know somebody's going to fade on the way on up. Definitely a nasty shot here. Yeah, no, there were a lot of fast drivers out here did not get out of this one. I know Chris Schaefer got mauled out there. Brandon Dittmer got hammered pretty hard. And I think everybody else was able to squeeze around. Definitely a nasty shot. Alright, we'll see if we can get this thing back live here. Pace truck lights are still on. Yeah, bummer to see a caution so early in the race here, but hopefully these guys will be able to settle it down. I know these guys got to let the tires heat up just a little bit, so you'll see them almost go about 3/4 for about a lap and a half. They'll have another shot to try it here. Laps locked and loaded for this one. Race will be starting on the inside. Pace truck is off. They need to hit the restart zone first. Some of these guys in dirt like to launch it first, and that's how they end up getting black flagged. Painstaking drive, so slow to hit that restart mark. Here it comes. All right, there we go. Sean Grace launches, away we go. Dan McLaren up 3 positions already, top 5 for him. Slicing toward the inside is Matthew Robinson. See if he can get eked out quick. That's one thing you want to do. Try to get in the lead fast. If some of these guys are slipping and sliding around, if you can get in the lead quick before something bad happens, now's the time. Looks like everybody's staying pretty solid here so far. Looks like Dan McLaren might be trying to here on the inside of Luis Meglin. 50 Toyota on the outside, hitting the wall. That's one of the things is a lot of times you'll see here at Phoenix, if these guys are not running spotters or anything, you know, something of that nature, that they'll drop down into this dogleg. There's absolutely no communication, and people start making contact. Interesting enough, Greg Parmalee in the for Toyota is on his way down pit road. As well as Gary Sigelkow, as we are back under caution. Holy cow, Gary Sigelkow is a massive amount of damage to the front of that 25 Chevrolet. Now we're going to cut away commercial again, and see if we can figure out what happened to Gary Sigelkow and Connor Ross here. Probably say, coming back here to the caution replay, that you can probably guess what the immediate problem is. You know, we're only a couple laps into this thing, and these guys are already sending this thing 3 wide. Points leader Chris Schaefer in the 23 still here in the back. He's going to be trying to see if he can undo this. Oh, man. Yeah, it looks like Gary's getting a little bit out of shape here. Makes contact with Will Sharge in the 092. Get this rolling here a little bit faster. Yeah, it seems they keep it all together here. And they he lost it. And maybe, whoa. Over-rotated, got caught on the wall. Let's see if we can find out what happened. Connor Ross area. Man, Chris Schaefer dodges a bullet. Holy cow. See if we can find Chris Schaefer here. Let's take a ride along with him. Excellent job. Taking a look at Nicholas Schell here. Sitting right now 11th position. Now he has moved up 10 positions. So right now, hardest charger of the race for Nick Schell in the 58 Chevrolet. Guys still here in the front. Roger Craig in the 8. Sitting now up 8 positions, sitting 10th. Right now in the 747 Chevrolet. I think these guys are going to have to kind of clean it up a little bit here. I will say next week these guys head to Daytona. So we'll head to more of a super speedway draft requirement track. A couple of these other drivers are going to be trying to see if they can get squeezed together here. Roger Craig's going to be lining up behind another salty dog out there, the 48 Chevrolet of Roland Olson. See how Dan McLaren's doing. He's up 3 positions, still sitting 5th. Brad Wetzel's lost the pole here, now down to 3rd. Sean Grace won last race, sitting in 1st. And Matthew Robinson up 2 positions in his Ford, sitting on the outside. So these cars double stacking here. We should have been locked and loaded and ready to go, but it looks like they're going to continue on around one more time. As the pace truck lights were still on, now they are back off. Try to get these guys floating around just a little bit here. Hopefully they're able to get everything squared away. Of course, I always like going out there and reaching out to the viewers out there and ask you guys what you think is going on here, who might win this race. I know we've kind of been under caution twice already. before we made it to the quarter mark. But we're going to go ahead and I'll go ahead and take a tally out there in the chat. Guys, go ahead and tell me who you think may or may not win this race here. Steven Bixler out there in the chat on the C2C network says he's pulling for the Salty Dogs. All right, back under green. Sean Grace pulling away here. Already, great restart by him. Matthew Robinson following the same line as the 27. Gets a better run, though. Right now, using a little bit of that draft. Dan McLaren sending it on the inside. Oh, boy. Him and Louise Meglin are back at it again. 43 of Brad Wetzel is going to be on the outside. Holy cow, Meglin into the wall. With Meglin into the wall so many times, the 52 of Zach Neubauer here watching it all happen. Definitely getting puckered up there pretty bad. Sean Grace almost out to a half-second lead. Round they go, flopping it. Wife out there in the chat. Sean Grace won last time in the trucks. Maybe he can go for a second. I bet you he would really appreciate that. Be able to start putting a little more gain on to Chris Schaefer, who is in the point. Sean Grace is sitting second with 348. Chris Schaefer with 405. After that, it is a solid break before it starts getting anybody here. 287 tied between Matthew Robinson and Kyle Moonen. Now, we'll say Kyle Moonen not out here tonight. Matthew Robinson a little crummy off that last turn, and now Brad Wetzel gets into Matthew Robinson there. Folds the side of his truck. So big-time loss here for Matthew Robinson. He's going to have some damage to the side of that race car. Now, keep in mind, I do want to note that these guys here in this truck league do have two faster pairs. If I were him, knowing I'm running up front, if another caution comes out, let's say later on down the line, maybe lap 30, 40 or so, I would 100% go ahead and use one of those faster pairs. There's no sense of continue marching back like he's going to be doing now. That right side damage is definitely affecting his steering now. So Robinson, who was up there trying to battle for the lead, has gotten loose into the wall. Some of it may have been just him, some of it not. Man, oh man. Let's rotate back here to Andrew Smith, who looks like he's been picking up a little bit of pace lately here in the 79 Toyota. Definitely had a really crummy qualifying time, working his way back up, looking like he's challenging here for 6th. Not enough just yet. Look how deep Butch Baker sends it. Butch Baker in the 97 Ford. Here we go. Here's Dan McLaren. Now, I would probably put money out there if I were to guess. Dan McLaren may overturn this one. Him and Aiden Young can kind of really put on a great show. Aiden Young has been promoted to the Xfinity League on Thursdays. So if you were looking for him, Travis Piercefield will be hosting the Thursday night. The Xfinity League at Phoenix as well. And some of your top drivers you will find there. And McLaren looking like he's trying to see if he can battle into the Thursday night. Top 10 will have the opportunity to compete Thursday. Sean Grace liking his looks here so far. Chris Schaefer is actually down one lap. He should get the lucky dog next caution. Interesting to see he didn't get the wave around last time. I thought he would have, but I may be incorrect. Watching these guys slice that dog leg there pretty good. You definitely see that there he's able to get a little more movement there. That Brad Wetzel I'm talking about in the 43 Chevrolet. Definitely see how that's working out for him. You see he's able to get a little bit of separation. But Dan McLaren holding that outside line, using the draft, is able to reel him right back in. Interesting to see. A couple of drivers look like they've already taken it to the garage. I think Brandon Dittmer's already taken his vehicle to the garage. I do not see him out here. Greg Parmalee is out here, but he's a couple laps down. Schaefer Not sure if Schaefer is having some trouble out there. It looks like Schaefer might be out of it. Schaefer ended up in a little bit of trouble on the second caution. We did see him make that dodge, but I don't think he thinks he can make it back to the front. Definitely knocked out quick for Chris Schaefer. He's going to try again. He'll have to try next week at Daytona. Daytona's always full of surprises, the same as Phoenix. Phoenix is a great track for these guys to actually end the championship run in the NASCAR. This is definitely one of the most unique tracks out there. Normally, mostly it's out there, you know, one of the unique tracks out there because the backstretch dogleg. A lot of tracks don't have that sort of opportunity, and the last renovation was completed in 2018. Made it even more unique. The start-finish line was actually moved between former Turn 2 and the dogleg, fundamentally changing how drivers would approach each lap. Right now, these guys are approaching another caution here, back under yellow flag. Not sure if who ended up in some trouble. I see Will Sargent's got some damage on the front of his car. Alrighty. Well, we're going to head off to another caution replay here, and we'll be right back and kind of figure out what happened. I would assume everybody's coming down pit road, and they are, and we will go over where everybody ends up when they get back off pit after I find out what happened for the caution. All right. Let's take a look at it here. Greg Parmalee in the 4.092 of Will Sargent here. Now, remember what I've been talking about, this dog leg. And a lot of guys, you know, the communication is key here. Let's take a look. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Greg Parmalee down toward the bottom. You see him hooking back toward the top. And these two get hooked, and around they go. That was enough to bring out the caution. That's why every car kept going. You see the 092 smoking with the engine damage, so that is going to be the end of his night here. Unless he is able to get back down pit road, uses probably his last and final fast repair. And that's going to do it for Will Sargent, the 092, who's been down 9 positions now, sitting 14th. Back live here, taking a look at the top side of Will Sargent. I will say Sean Grace would have had the lead back, but Connor Ross stayed out. Connor Ross last pit on lap 9. See how he stacks up. I'm sure the tires will be... the effect will be immense. He's got that. That's going to be not a good sign here for Connor Ross. But with the race off pit road, look like Sean Grace, Butch Baker, Brad Wetzel, and Dan McLaren may be your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Only person out here who decided to switch it up a little bit down pit road. was Butch Baker with a 7-second pit stall time. Definitely not trying anything different. And it looks like Will Sargent came down pit road with a just under a 10-second pit stall time. All right, Connor Ross looking to see if he can lead himself a lap here. Away he goes, gets the restart he needs, but as everybody else kind of waits behind him, waiting for their tires to heat up, he might be a sitting duck, but give it hats off to Connor Ross here. Getting some pushed away here. Dan McLaren caught behind the 97 of Butch Baker. Caution. Let's get a quick replay on this. Looks like Roland Olsen. This may be another situation where somebody didn't wait for those tires to heat up. He is down there on the paint. You see him nudge the edge of the apron here, and that's just what's going to send him on around. We saw this earlier with Connor Ross in the race. Ooh! And hooked him. Man. Take a look at Connor Ross here, leading a good bit of this race now. I kind of like what he's thinking here on the top of the windshield of Craftsman. The Gander Outdoor Truck Series has decided not to continue with the Truck Series, and Craftsman is now retaking over this year. So Connor Ross going ahead, sporting Craftsman there on the top, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Brad Wetzel as well. So, good idea. I like the way they think. Alright, so these guys get behind the pace truck here for a couple more laps. Definitely putting miles on it. I think the pace truck will be out of warranty by about lap 60. But the Steve King Foundation pace truck, this foundation was actually formed to help the dirt track racing community across the country by providing financial assistance to drivers, pit crew members, racing officials, track operations personnel, or the immediate families of those individuals who suffer serious injury, illness, or death. If you guys don't know anything about the Steve King Foundation, you can find out about them at www.stevekingfoundation.org. It should be that pretty. It is that simple, and then that way you guys can go there, see who they help, why they help, and understand kind of the situation behind the Steve King Foundation. And then if you feel the need, you can go ahead and donate to them as well to help the dirt racing community. Right now on the asphalt here at Phoenix. 34 laps into this one. I wouldn't question anything on the track if it's a little different. 76 degrees in Phoenix. That's probably right for about this time of year, and we definitely know Phoenix is probably one of the hottest places in the U.S. So temperatures on the track normally above 100, 120 degrees. Down to 76 here for this winter season. What all of these drivers have for us here, I'm not sure. 15 drivers still on the lead lap. Gary Siglecow got the wave around, so he is back onto the lead lap. Good for him. Sean Grace, Connor Ross, front row again. Let's see if Connor Ross can get the same restart on this one that he has on the last few. Oh, man. We'll see if Sean Grace, that was a wicked restart. He almost timed that perfectly. We'll keep an eye on that. I definitely hope Sean Grace is not going to be black flagged for that. And the reason for a black flag is jumping before the leader went. So we'll watch and see out there. I know Sean Grace has ended up with one of those black flags already this season. Taking a look at Dan McLaren on the inside. Looks like he's going to get Butch Baker behind him now. Matthew Robinson, after some massive damage that he had before, now is 6th. Sitting 5th. Huge run into the turn. Matthew Robinson, here he comes. Butch Baker working the outside. He feels his tires have heated up enough, and he's going to start pressing on. Sean Grace getting loose outside turn 4 here. Good shot of the tower there. Let's take a look more trackside. Connor Ross hanging there on the outside. Doesn't seem to be phasing him too much. Whoa! Shoot out at the line here. It looks like Sean Grace may just beat him. Sean Grace cutting the dog leg, and now on the inside, away he goes. Brad Wetzel will get some of that too. Sean Grace on the march back. Well, Sean Grace on the march forward. Connor Ross on the march back. Definitely starting to mix it up here side by side. It looks like Butch Baker's battling Luis Meglin here. Looks like that 50 machine of that Toyota is trying to figure out something going on here. Looks like Connor Ross is still on the move back. Dan McLaren's got him, and now it looks like Matthew Robinson's taking a look. Matthew Robinson diving toward the inside of turn 1 here as they get wrapped around the turn. Squeezing around they go. Looks like Matthew Robinson's got it, and Connor Ross may have a little time to breathe. Sean Grace has last time on the track, the fastest on the track with a 27.27 out there. He is right now blistering speed out there, and I don't know if Brad Wetzel can keep up. Right now, this is exactly what you want to see. Guys really turn it on here after a solid pit stop. But that comes to an end here. I think Will Sargent's in it again here. Whoa. Look like Will Sargent almost took out Chris Schaefer there. We head to another caution. Let's take a look at it top side here and see what we got. Will Sargent, and I see Olson, and I see Greg Parmalee here. These guys have been in a good bit of tussle here. I know the 4 and the 1092 connected again, and Parmalee turns him. There was no doubt about that. Whoa. So here's what I'm going to do. I know some of you guys out there who have watched Simtrax broadcasting before, and you guys know exactly what I try to do, and I try to make sure we can post out there and show everybody's great driving, but I want to make sure we kind of save everything we can here for Greg Parmalee. You see in his rearview mirror, they're taking a look. Yeah, and you see the wheel turn. That's exactly what happened. Yuck. Not a good look here. So let's take one more shot at it. Cockpit and this helmet view. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Just don't know about that one. Everybody bringing it back now. Had to give it a little reset there. SDK doesn't believe I have a button not working, so we have to give it a little square away here. Sean Gray still leading this one, and I know he's putting a lot of these laps he's doing under caution. But hopefully he's able to continue on. See a lot of trouble there by Chris Schaefer. I know he's been having some ins and outs. Hopefully he is able to kind of square this away. I do not see Sean Grace here in the Discord for C2C. I'd like to have a chat with him out there and see if he can do anything so far. Dan McLaren right now sitting third. Nick Schell, biggest mover of the race. Right now showing to be locked in to 8th place, up 13 positions. Pace truck lights are off. They were kind of dueling it out here between the Tim Chapman Pickup Cup here, or the Race Against Childhood Cancer Xfinity Series. Both of those series went cautionless at Nashville. Right now we're up to 5 here at Phoenix, just over the halfway mark. So we'll see if the Xfinity Series can beat that. Glad to see a lot of drivers still out here giving it a shot. Double file these guys are going to go. I think one more caution. They may send it single file. We'll see. Sean Grace gets exactly the restart he wanted here. Gets the separation. Oh, man. Look at the distance. Dan McLaren smells prey. Here he comes. Dan McLaren now up to second as he slid underneath Brad Wetzel. Wetzel now trying his best to stay in the top 3 position, but no can do. A little loose off Andrew Smith back there in the 79. If you guys caught that, let's rotate back there and take a look at it. 79 Monster Energy Toyota here, getting a little loose, but almost to the top 5. But he can't get there just yet because Luis Magdalene in front of him. Side-by-side racing looks like here Brad Wetzel and Matthew Robinson. 43 in the 15 machine, both be looking into Doyle Lawrence and their paint schemes. See if we can get going here. Brad Wetzel, look at that dive into turn 3. Definitely big move in here so far. Yeah, interesting enough. See, Matthew Robinson's got enough speed here. Let's take a look at his speed. 159 miles an hour there. Quick touch. Now he dives toward the inside, having to get a big slowdown here. See if he can squeeze quiet underneath, but not just yet. Not enough for Matthew Robinson. Started 4th here in the race. We saw the damage he had before. He's now fighting to get it back. And McLaren seeing if he can work and catch a little more break here on Sean Grace. Sean Grace has got the winning line here as we're rotating around the track. Taking a good look at how these guys get. Oh, around here we're back under yellow. And I think Chris Schaefer's into this one. Chris Schaefer down pit. Six cautions now. See if we can head to Chris Schaefer and see what it caused this one. Top angle. Oh, no, don't do that. Now, I will say, Chris Schaefer's been having some electronic problems out there. I've been watching, kind of seeing what in the world's going on here. I know he's had some packet loss issues. He's had a disconnect issue. He's been able to rejoin, but I just don't know if that one may have been the final blow for Chris Schaefer in the 23 Chevrolet. Yeah, a little bit of a poor showing here for our points leader. Hopefully he's able to try again. I know RC may be down there trying to figure out what in the world's going on. Do want to give a shout out there for our race control, Brandon Ish Canyon. You'll be able to see Brandon actually race on Thursday nights as well in the Xfinity League. Man, what a beautiful view here at Phoenix. couple of guys kind of beating their head off the steering wheel here, trying to figure out what in the world they're going to do to kind of undo this one. I'm trying to figure out Sean Grace. Came back down the pit. So Sean Grace pit on 47 as well as Brad Wetzel, Matthew Robinson, and I believe Dustin Sargent in the 377 came down as well. Let's see out of here. Some of these guys revisiting pit. Maybe kind of thinking fuel mileage here. Or a second set of tires. Maybe this car is starting to loosen up on them a little bit. And give it another shot. Dan McLaren and Andrew Smith both running the 88 and the 79 Toyota for Spartan Racing. So far so good. Like I said, first and third. So that'd be a great day if they can maintain these positions, if not gain another. And maybe get a 1-2 finish here at Phoenix. Yeah, so far looking at the Venom Racing team. Butch Baker sitting 6th. Gary Sigelkow sitting 11th. So far so good out of the Venom Racing team. I will say, Gary Sigelkow able to kind of clean up his act here a little bit. We saw him with some early damage, early problems. But has battled himself just outside the top 10 here in the Truck Series, so hopefully he'll be able to give it another shot. Pace truck is off. And I would definitely expect to see a 1-2 punch here. Dan McLaren and Andrew Smith are definitely going to time this restart. Positions 12 through 15 have pit. These guys have fresh tires, full tank of fuel, so they're going to see if they can run these guys down with 25 to go. Ooh, man, there it is, the 1-2. Dan McLaren, Andrew Smith for Spartan Racing in the front. Chasing behind them will be Louis Meglin in the 50 Toyota, side by side Nick Schell and Zach Neubauer. Toward the inside of the 52, Zach Neubauer seems to be holding his own in the Bud Chevrolet. 58, Nick Schell. Oh, man, Nick Schell's going to hate that was on him when he hit the wall. So far, Nick Schell hasn't been touched all race. He gets a little bit of the bite of the wall. And actually looks like Connor Ross almost resurrecting his race here. Coming back, sitting 5th. 24 laps to go on these guys. Jack Clevenger sitting 7th. Butch Baker on the outside of Roger Craig. Roger Craig now up 10 positions. Sitting 8th. Oh, caution again. No. Roland Olson in this one. Roland Olson, and it says maybe Matthew Robinson. I think I see some damage on the backside of this car. Truck, excuse me. Yeah, Matthew Robinson with some damage on that 15. We've been talking a bunch about Matthew Robinson here tonight. But we're going to be talking about him even more. All right, let's see if we can take a look. Matthew Robinson obviously coming down for that fast repair here. Let's see what happened up front. 77 machine gets hooked. What in the world happened there? Okay. Okay, hold on a second. What brought this? Hold on, let me see if we can roll this back. Because come on, Gary. I know Gary Sigelkow didn't hook him here. Taking a look at the chopper angle. Oh, the 77 got way loose. That's that new tire problem. So Dustin Sargent gets way loose here. This is what gets me. Matthew Robinson lined up, taking the turn. And the 77 here just kind of straightened the turn. I think he was expecting him to kind of keep going or make the turn there. I don't know if something happened. Wow. Whoa. Well, fortunately, some drivers will have the opportunity to come back down pit road and try this again. It did say Roland Olsen had a problem out there. I do want to take a peek. Roland Olsen here in the back. Contact with these two. Oh, what in the net code was that? What was that? He's not even there. What in the net code is that? Oh, Roland Olsen. Not your fault, buddy. 48 machine gets a huge lick there from no fault of his own. All right, a couple drivers coming down, and there is, if I'm not mistaken, a 24 incident point limit. Some of these guys getting pretty close out there. Pace truck lights are off. Yay! Everybody out there cheering for that. All right, out there in the chat, Doyle Lowrance, go Brad Wetzel. Yep, I know. We were looking at his truck. I know, we were looking at his truck. I see you out there in the chat. Brad Wetzel inside the top 10 here. Hopefully you were able to join us again there, Doyle. All right, let's see how these guys get it done here. Spartan Racing in the front row. Yeah, McLaren definitely going to let them know here exactly when to jump. Wait for that Geico restart zone. There it is. Go. Off they go. 88 and the 79. You definitely see the separation isn't as bad as before. But Meglin in the 50 right now. You want to talk about crazy. Toyota's in the top 3 right now. No Chevy or Ford in sight in the podium positions. But we got 19 left to go. Anything can happen. Yeah, it looked like it was Will Sargent back into the wall there in the back. Let's see how they take a shot here through for the finish. Good here so far. Couple drivers having some trouble there in the back. Don't know if that was Nick Shell getting a little loose here in the green machine. Slow it down there just a little bit, but they got 18 left to go. See if we can do this cautionless here. Rotating up to the front, Andrew Smith regains second place here, but Luis is going to drop to the bottom. 79 trying to carry some outside line speed. Doesn't have it. Good job by Andrew Smith, spotter here. Letting him know he's on the inside, but he didn't. The spotter didn't tell him he's got contact. 79 around. Look out. Nick Shell, Clink, and now the rest of the field. Gary Singlecow and Roland Olsen hit the brakes. Good Lord. Gary Singlecow was around. Oh, yeah. All right. There's the contact. Round they go. Here's what gets me. Everything A-OK. Coming up on the wreck here. Phew. Yeah, I think Roland Olsen just kind of sent it the rest of the way. All the replay is brought to you tonight by Malcolm's Mills Millwrighting, based in Oakland, Ontario, Canada. Malcolm Mills Millwrighting is a full-service millwrighting contractor featuring custom welding, fabricating, and servicing industrial clients. Look them up at mmmillwrighting.com or Malcolm's Mills Writing on Facebook. Do want to give a shout out there to Mission 22 as well. Fantastic organization to check out. They'll be having their 9th restart coming up. All right, checking out there in the chat. I got somebody lighting it up. Doyle Lawrence there over at the Coast to Coast Racing Network. All up to your work schedule. I will say, 14-hour ER shift? Do you work at a hospital? And you race? What is this? But yes, Brad Wetzel has fought himself back up to that 5th position. Definitely getting a good workout here tonight. See Barney with yellow flag up in the air. Normally signifying 1 to go, but not just yet. Pace truck lights are still on. Should be one more time around, and the pace truck lights will be off. So far, Dan McLaren, Meglin is captured 2nd, Neubauer into 3rd, Butch Baker 4th, and Brad Wetzel into 5th. I do want to admit that few pit stops were made with Andrew Smith, Nick Schell, and Jack Clevenger. They all came in about 60 and 61. Matthew Robinson had to re-pit again on 53, sitting 6th. Connor Ross and Gary Afoot out there in the 35 Chevrolet and the 984 Ford. They had to come in on lap 54. So a couple of drivers having some more trouble out there. No, right now, I think 17th on down has taken it back to the garage. No, Will Sargent showing he's still in repairs. There we go. There we go. Steven Goldner rooting out for Sean Grace and Brad Wetzel out there. Yeah, Sean Grace is going to have to make up some distance here. He is sitting right behind Wetzel. So they kind of reel it in here a little bit. Dan McLaren's been fast. But it's been a good while since Dan McLaren pit. A lot of these guys almost going back in like they're running out of fuel here. All right, let's get underway. You see the 97 of Butch Baker get real loose here on the restart. Can't switch lanes till they cross the start-finish line. We've got contact back here in the Gary Signal Tower area. And take a guess. We're going to slam this one straight to caution again. Roland Olson right back into him. Qualified for Xfinity, too. All right. See if we can roll it back here and figure out what happened to Gary. They're almost 4 wide here. Looks like Gary trying to straighten out the turn, the 94. Have Gary afoot here. These two guys may have thought came down pit earlier. 94 gets caught. Gary trying to sneak around. They make contact again. Definitely a mashup here. Let's see if we can. I think Gary Sigelcow trying to stop here. See the front tires are stopped, so he's held the brakes. Roland Olson gets him. I think Greg Parmalee, they'd go ahead and let him on through. I think what I've got to say is Andrew Smith in the 79 here. I mean, just How lucky he gets skating out of this one. I can't right now. This is mind-blowing. Watching it happen. There it goes. Taking a look back. And it continues. I'm just... oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. So Gary single count, Gary a foot. We'll be back in the 13th, 14th position. Stephen Goldner, another driver that you'll find in the Xfinity Series. If Dan McLaren can win this race, I have got to ask him how he made it on fuel. Because right now, this is... See the engine's cut off? Oh, yeah. Right now, Dan McLaren is hurting for fuel. I mean, big time. Big time. I cannot blame him. This is the epitome. This is exactly what you have to do for ultimate fuel savings. Cut the engine. Normally, I push the clutch in. I like being able to finish with at least half a gallon, but he is dangerously close to being out of fuel here. Holy cow. So right now, if you're a driver like Brad Wetzel, who pit on 47, Matthew Robinson, who's on 43, Sean Grace, who also pit on 47, Connor Ross, who pit on 54, these are the guys that I'm comfortable. What they need are green flag laps right now to really reel in Dan McLaren. Dan McLaren is getting an easy bye here on the track, having so many caution laps. It's able to use a tenth less of fuel, which, over the course of this many cautions, he's had plenty of opportunities to save fuel here. Probably another gallon or so, but he's going to run out. If this goes to green-white checkers, he may run out of fuel. Holy cow, Dan McLaren doing everything he can to save fuel here. That was amazing. All right. Dan McLaren and Zach Neubauer side by side. Toyota's broken up by Chevrolet. And away we go. Dan McLaren going to try to scurry away with this one as he has 7 to go at the line. Scrambling away he is. Definitely weight savings for him in the 88 Toyota. He gets broken away. Like Sean Grace trying to see if he can come back from this race 3 wide. Sean Grace on the bottom, Matthew Robinson up top. Right now they've got the tire advantage. Contact. What? Why? Why? There was no... All right. Let's roll back and see what happened here. Net code. Taking a look at Matthew Robinson's vehicle here. Looking up top. Looks like Matthew Robinson catches the wall. So the latest update, they were supposed to square this away, but it didn't work out. Looks like he takes out his teammate Nick Shell as well. Andrew Smith is destroyed. The 50 machine get popped again. I think Meglin got hammered right here at the end. Let's take a look at it here. There's more net code. And then I think I see him spin out after this. So Luis Meglin been up front just about all night. All night. Kind of has this one ruined here. Here's Nicholas Shell getting spun around. All right, let's bring this one back live. 5 to go. I would question right now Dan McLaren. He's got to be puckered right now. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Alright, if you guys like what you see here, c2crl.com, you'll be able to tune in. Extreme E-Speed TV will be Travis Piercefield for the next couple of days, starting on Wednesday and Thursday. If you guys want to tune in to me, simtracksbroadcasting.com, you'll be able to find me Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We head to the Racing Revolution tomorrow to race at Talladega, as they are in the middle of the playoffs. About three or four races left with them before they crown a new champion. It is getting big time tight on the points running. Those guys are about 12 points apart on the lead before they end up eliminating 4 more guys and heading to none other than Phoenix for the chase. Should be a good run. Then we'll be at the Doghouse Racing League on Thursday. And they'll be heading to Daytona, so it looks like super speedways for me for the rest of the week. Don't forget Saturdays. We'll be over there at the Graceland Shootout Series. And those boys head to Texas. Should be about 35 laps there. Well, let's go ahead and get this one done here at Phoenix as we see the pace truck duck on off. Right now we're all about tie-dye. Hard charger right now is Roger Craig sitting 7th. All About Tie-Dye is located in Liberty, Missouri. All About Tie-Dye is the official tie-dye of the Coast2Coast Racing League. Dan McLaren, Zach Newbauer, does he have enough to get it to the end? It would be something to see Dan McLaren take off here, get going, and then all of a sudden that truck stall out. Right now, Brad Wetzel's hoping for that. But Wetzel has the tire advantage. So let's see if that 43 Chevrolet can slice on the inside of his Toyota. Good jump here so far. Brad Wetzel's just hoping for some green flag laps to see if he can get him run down. Side by side with Brad Wetzel and Zach Newbauer here. 2 to go. Ooh, man. White flag this time by. Whatever happens, happens. There we go. Sean Gray sitting 4th. Now Wetzel into 2nd. Wetzel, good job there, getting in front of the 52, but Zach Newbauer didn't appreciate that. Around they go, continuing to push. Let's see if Brad Wetzel can hold him off. Sean Grace trying to break into the top 3. Right now, Sean Grace pedal to the metal here. I don't expect him to lift. 27 machine on the inside. Here he comes. More pressure as Connor Ross sits 5th. Sean Grace, does he have enough? No. Sean Grace by 50 thousandths of a second here. 50 thousandths of a second. Sean Grace ends up 4th. Dan McLaren comes away with the win. Brad Wetzel into 2nd, and Zach Newbauer was 3rd. Results screen up here for you guys. That way you guys can find your favorite driver out there. I will say, out of a lot of this racing that we saw here tonight, there was a lot of net code. I would say a lot more net code than normal. iRacing was supposed to kind of hammer a good bit of this out. And kind of make it at least semi-competitive. But some of that just, there was absolutely no rhyme or reason. Guys handling, holding their own lane, and then it kind of destroyed each other. But let's take a look here at Dan McLaren kind of ripping her down. great job here by Dan McLaren. Kind of not showing a whole lot here, but he showed up here tonight. Fantastic job, and we'll kind of reel in all our guys here. Let's have a talk with them. Brad Wetzel or Zach Neubauer out there, guys, get locked and loaded in Discord. You should have been here already, but we'll catch up with them and have a chat. All right, everybody, and we're getting caught up with Zach Neubauer out there in the 52 Chevrolet out there on the track. Really, Zach, you got a copy on me?
Yeah, I got you. You got me?
Oh, yeah. What a wild race this was here, man. Definitely caution-filled. Kind of what was your outlook on the race?
The outlook was just to keep the truck clean till the end. And then once we got down to about 10, I knew I had enough fuel. I had saved the tires and just let it rip.
I knew fuel was a big concern out there. What else were you looking forward to here in this race? I mean, if this was under some solid green flag laps, was there anybody out there that you were nervous or was kind of racing you harder than you thought?
No, I mean, everybody up front was racing pretty clean. Really wasn't worried about anything. I mean, if I got past, I got past. But, I mean, I would have loved to see it go green. If it went green, I don't know if there were different pit strategies up front or not. I knew I was good till the end. I would have liked to see it going green to see if it turned into a fuel mileage race.
Yeah, well, that was definitely tough. I know Dan McLaren, he was shutting the engine off. He was so close on running out of fuel. I wasn't sure on you out here. But Phoenix is a tough track. A lot of those guys try to cut that dog leg, and there's just not enough room.
Yeah. I like coming out of the new 4. Old 2. I like coming out high and just staying on the racing groove. I had an issue in qualifying where I tried using dog leg and spun out on the second lap, didn't get a second lap time. So I prefer running the actual racetrack and not cutting the dog leg.
All right. Well, they do say it doesn't pick up any speed, but I have seen in some cases if it's more than one driver, they can pick up some speed and definitely get broken away. Great job here tonight. Next week, we actually head in the Truck Series to Daytona. How confident are you feeling heading in a super speedway?
Oh, I don't know if anybody can be comfortable going to Daytona, but I mean, it's going to be fun.
All righty. Well, in the trucks, I definitely expect to see bump draft and a lot of people getting loose. Go ahead and give me your shout-outs here.
I mean, sponsors wanted. If you got a sponsor, let me know.
Oh, so Bud, the king of beers, is not it, huh?
No, that's not it.
All right, Zach Neubauer. Hopefully we are able to see you next week, Bud. Good job.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You too. All right, that goes ahead and brings us our second place finisher of Brad Wetzel. Brad, you had some guys out there rooting you on for sure. Doyle Lowrance, if I'm not mistaken, was really liking that paint scheme.
Yeah, it's all the credit goes to him. He made some upgrades and had it looking smooth tonight.
Oh, yeah, definitely for certain. And Steven Goldner as well, we're kind of rooting you on as well. Definitely something to see. You qualified on the pole, but just weren't able to get that win back. What was the strategy here at the end? I see you pit back on lap 47.
Yeah, we were kind of expecting that everyone would come in for that last set of tires, and a few of them decided to stick it out, and cautions kind of stacked up, which worked in their favor, and we just didn't quite have enough time. I don't. It's hard. There's a bunch of what ifs, but unfortunately, that's the way it played out. And Dan, all the credit to him. He ran a heck of a long green flag run with us there, and it was pretty fun until those cautions came.
Oh, yeah. Well, would you say that, maybe some of these guys not taking those extra pit stops may have been the reason for some of these cautions?
Yeah, I think the track was tough. It was, especially on new tires or cold tires on restarts, coming out of, I don't know if it's 2 or 4. This track changes too much. It's probably worse than my wife changing their mind. But one of the corners coming out onto the straightaway, truck likes to step out on you on the bottom. So I think a lot had to do with the track and practice and kind of being comfortable in the truck.
All righty, Brad. Well, definitely gonna have to try a little bit harder as we head into Daytona next week. I know. Phoenix. It's tough. That dog leg. These guys. Back and forth. But we head to a super speedway. How confident you feeling there?
I think as confident as anyone can ever feel at Daytona. It's just a roll of the dice most of the time, and hopefully luck falls your way. Be at the right place, the right time.
All right, 7th in points, but a second place finish here tonight. Give me your shout-outs.
Yeah, I got to thank Roger Craig for all that he does. Tim Chapman, you for being up in the booth. It's always fun to watch.
All right, appreciate it, Brad. Hopefully I'll see you winner circle here because you're getting pretty close. Just not enough there, man. Still a little left here to go in the winter season, but good job tonight.
Yep, hopefully one of these days. Talk to you later.
Yep, bye. All right, that's going to be Brad Wetzel here, of course, taking us to our winner of the race here in the Coolray Victory Lane. He seemed to, I don't think anything seemed to slow him down at all here, but Coolray Victory Lane is proud to be proud of their reputation of providing excellent cooling, heating, plumbing, and electrical service to homeowners and businesses in Georgia. Their mission is to continue to build long-lasting relationships with their customers through their winning spirit and commitment to 100% satisfaction guaranteed. And right now, somebody who's got to have 100% satisfaction is Dan McLaren here in the 88 Toyota. Coming away with a win here, man. Excellent job.
Thanks, Patrick. Good to be here.
All right, man, dude.
Like it's been a while.
Well, what was the key here? Because we'll get into the fuel mileage here in a second. But what was the key to really being fast and just being able to stick it out here to the end?
Patience and take care of your tires. That's pretty much it.
All right. Well, I know you aren't able to be here. This is your second race you were able to compete in. This will sling you up the points. But I know points don't matter to you. You just like coming out here and racing with the guys. Taking a ride on the inside, Dan, we did take a look at when you were in the lead. Engine cutoff. How close were you on fuel at the end?
I can't give away all my secrets, but no, it was. I had fuel, a little bit of fuel to spare. But it's just the name of the game.
Oh, well,
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
I'm definitely spoiling it from you. Definitely taking a look on the inside because I said, man, it's been a while since Dan has pit. I've got to know. And taking that look and saw that engine cut off and then fire back up, I said, oh man, he's in a bad situation here. He's running out of time. Did the cautions help you here?
Oh, big time. Every time, the yellow flag come out, I'm like, all right, that's more fuel saved. I'll take it. But I was worried with Brad because he had the fresher tires. Actually, there was a few guys that pitted that made their way back up into the top 5 that had fresher tires. So I was a little worried on that, but just hit my marks and brought her home.
Yeah, definitely. Brad Wetzel, Sean Grace, Connor Ross, and Matthew Robinson, before he got in that last tangle up, started really picking up the pace. And I thought you were going to look like a sitting duck here, but definitely you were able to stick it out. I know the cautions were just something else here tonight. And I know Steven Goldner equates all his wins to, if the cautions weren't here, I'd have lost every place on the track. But really, it's what you were fast out here most of the night. I mean, What was the key to just being so fast? I mean, there's the tires. I mean,
Um,
were tires really a factor here? I mean, there were 3 sets.
Oh no, big time. But no, Phoenix is one of my top 5 tracks. Like I like the shorter type tracks. Other than it just puts on better racing, and you gotta just fuel mileage and tire saving, and there's many factors, but mostly just patience and but yeah.
All right. Well, I won't hold you to it, but I will get a little insight. If you are not able to make it to Daytona next week, what do you tell another driver out there? What is the key to being fast and getting out in front and staying out in front of Daytona? Because the farther you are in the pack, just the worse it gets.
Oh, for sure. Well, that goes both ways too. But I hate to disappoint. I won't be at that one. I won't be back probably for another 2 or 3 weeks. But Daytona, that's another even more, patience game. You can run at the front and that can pay off, or just go to the back and hang out, wait till 10 laps and give her hell. But
All right.
that always puts on a good race too. You can't go wrong with Daytona or Talladega.
Yeah, well, definitely tough. If it starts ending up in a caution race there, I mean, you almost got to be in the front, and you'll never get enough draft or enough speed to get up there. Dan McLaren in the '88 Toyota, give me your shout outs here, bud.
Spartan Racing, all the guys there. VMR Wraps, WeldStar Custom Fabrications, Coast2Coast Racing League, and you guys for putting on a broadcast.
All right, appreciate it, man. Andrew Smith almost there with Spartan Racing as well. You guys were 1 and 2 there for a little while. I thought we might have gotten a sweep on the podium, but no luck here tonight. Great job tonight, Dan McLaren. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully we'll catch up again later.
Thanks, Patrick. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody. Dan McLaren in the '88. So great to see him here. I know last year he definitely put a clinic on before everybody else started kind of catching on out here. With the kind of speeds that he can put on just back to back with so much ferocity out there. He's so tough out there on the track, and I'm glad to see Dan McLaren pull this one away. But once again, we appreciate all you guys here at SimTrax Broadcasting. It's been an awesome run here. Been a fantastic blast, but we are going to have to sign off here. You can catch up with the Coast to Coast Racing League tomorrow, same place, same time. And if you guys are looking for me, Racing Revolution is where we're going to be at Talladega. So super speedways for me coming up. Awesome. Once again, appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. And I will catch you guys next time. Be well, be safe, be kind. Catch you guys next time.